My jungle will lure you in with paths that are deceptively apparent and secrets that will never be uncovered. Silver starlight may show you the way. Shape-shifting shadows will lead you astray. So open your eyes. I will show you a world etched deep in my mind. Only the greatest explorers of the unknown, those who are willing to lose themselves, can unravel the enigma. For the essence of the jungle lies not in being found, but in getting lost. Welcome to Thorn's Jungle. Okay, how's it going, everyone? I'm coming live from the bush. Well, not live, but I'm recording it from the bush. It's live as I'm talking. I figured it has been a few weeks since my last episode, and I will warn you, the quality of this episode is not going to be great. I'm standing in the middle of the bush. You'll hear leaves crunching, you'll hear wind, you'll hear a bulldozer behind me, because what I'm doing is I am catching all the animals and relocating them as the bush is being destroyed so people can build houses. So right now I am quite a ways in front of the bulldozer because there's big trees that are getting knocked over. Even if I'm like 50 feet in front of it, the tree's going to fall on me. So the bulldozer's doing its thing and I'm doing mine. Let me just sit down. I bring a bucket out with me so I can have a little rest as I'm walking through the bush. Just sit on the bucket. But I haven't put an episode out in weeks because I've been so damn busy. I've been doing this certain area of bushland for about 3 weeks. Before that, I was trapping this area, so I had funnel and fence traps out. And for those that don't know what that is, when animals hit or like walk into a wall or a ledge or something, they tend to follow that wall along, right? They do, but typically they won't turn around and walk back. They'll just follow the wall or fence. So I dig in those fences. They're about a foot high, maybe 4 meters long. And at the end of the fence, I'll have a funnel. It works very similar to like a cray pot or a crab pot, where an animal will walk into it and can't get out. So they'll follow that fence along and go into the funnel and then not be able to get out. So I had 13 or 14 of those fence lines out in this bush. And I was moving them around as well. And I got a lot of cool animals. I got baby dugites, which are like part of the brown snake genus. I got a really cool snake called a Jan's banded snake, and Google it, a picture of this thing, because they're so awesome. And they are an elapid, so they are related to your brown snakes, cobras, things like that, where they do have venomous they got front fangs and they are venomous. But the venom is so mild where they really wouldn't affect a human. And I mean, that's if their fangs even penetrate the human skin, because they are tiny little snakes. They max out at about 30 centimeters or a foot long. So I found a few of them, and they're always cool. They're fossorial snakes, so they live under the leaf litter and loose sand, and they eat tiny little skinks. That's why their venom is very mild to us, because they don't have to kill anything bigger than a small skink, a small lizard. I found spiny-tailed geckos, which are always awesome. They are adorable geckos, and they have the most amazing looking eyes. They're like red and yellow, and yeah, they look awesome. But what they do is, as a form of defense, they shoot like a glue web out of their tail. And probably, I've caught hundreds of them, but I've only actually been glued a handful of times. They seem quite reluctant to do so. I don't know if that's because it uses a lot of energy to do it, or a lot of fluids, which out in the Australian bush, especially during the summer, is pretty hard to come by. But I did get glued by one last week, and the glue smells like it stinks. Not super unpleasant, but it reminds me of like if you get snow peas or pea pods and like break them up in your fingers. It smells like that. It smells like peas, but it's so strong and super hard to get off. So I got a whole heap of them. I got these skinks called Tenotus, which are about 30 centimeters long, cool looking skinks. Lots of centipedes and scorpions. So I always find I get the most animals when I trap, because you can just leave them there for days, and I obviously check them every morning, and they just do their thing. When I'm out here walking around, you've got to rely on whatever's out and about. And at the moment, it's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so like 38 degrees Celsius. So not a lot of stuff is on the move. So I haven't found many animals just walking around. But do you know what animals are walking around? Bloody ticks. And as I'm sitting here, there are swarms of them heading towards my feet. Swarms of them. It's like the ground's moving. And my body, from head to toe, there's probably not a centimetre of normal skin. It's just covered in tick bites. It's bloody horrible. And I've been absolutely smashing my feet and legs with DEET and bug spray, and it's just not doing anything. It's pretty brutal. But before I started fauna relocating at this area, we were in Africa. So I was away for 2 weeks, all up. 10 days of that was in Africa. Now I am going to get Caveman Rob, on the podcast to talk about the Africa trip, because it was so cool. But a little rundown of that is Rob and I decided to host trips to Africa. So if anybody, whether they're a fan of the show Kings of Pain or not, they can come with us on a really cool Africa trip. Just hang out. Rob and I are just coming along with you and hanging out, and we will talk about animals with you and stuff like that. But essentially, it's just coming on a trip with us. And we did the first of these trips in January, and it went really well. We had 10 people with us, and everybody had the time of their life. We did amazing things, like stuff that you'll see on a National Geographic show. It's really cool. I love Africa so much, and we're going back in August to do another one of these trips. We've already filled up quite a few spots, but if anyone is keen that is listening to this podcast, shoot me an email and I'll send you through more information, so you can come hang out with Rob and I and see some really cool animals and do some really awesome things. I wanted to do a podcast when I was in Africa. I wanted to do an episode, but man, we were just so busy doing cool stuff. So yeah, I'm sorry. But this will probably be my last day in this bush. I might actually, looking at it, I might have to be here tomorrow. But starting next week, I will be doing regular weekly episodes again. I'll be back into it. The busy time seems to be over. I mean, when it rains, it pours with me. Like, I'll have nothing on for ages, and then all of a sudden I just get hit with a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go for a little wander around this bush, so come with me. You'll hear the leaves cracking and see what I can find. Literally about a meter in front of me is a chunk of bird laying on the floor, and I have no idea what the hell part of this bird it is. Like, I picked it up. It's big. It's like the size of a baseball. I picked it up and it's just pure feather, like dense, thick feather. I don't know if it's like a chunk of tail or what, but yeah, I don't know. But it's very weird, and it looks like a bird of prey as well, maybe from an owl. But let's go have a wander. You find some interesting stuff around here, and the ticks are approaching me quite quickly. All right. you might hear some slapping around, and that is a sign that's on a fence that's running through this bush that keeps slapping around. And there is kangaroos in this bush, so what I did is I opened up chunks of the fence so the kangaroos can leave this area, because they can't, by law, they can't really bulldoze unless the area is fully enclosed. That stops the public getting in and, suing whoever's clearing the bush, suing them if they roll their ankle or something, So they fenced it all off. But that means the bigger animals like your kangaroos and emus are trapped in the area that's being cleared. So I always open up sections of the fence so the kangaroos can leave. But the other day I came in and saw kangaroo tracks coming in. So they hadn't left, they'd come in. So I was like, God damn it. But now that they're clearing, there's a lot of noise, a lot of bush, being smashed. So I've left the fences open so that hopefully they get scared out of this area. But I can't relocate the kangaroos. Like, they're too big for me to grab, obviously. They'd beat the living crap out of me. I can't tranquilize them because that's just not feasible, because, there could be a mob, which is a collective term for a kangaroo. There could be a mob that's like, 5 or 6 kangaroos, and yeah, you've tranquilized one, but now you've just broken up the family group, and now they've just dispersed all around the bush. So, yeah, I can't relocate them, unfortunately. And there is apparently emus here as well. I've seen emus in this area years ago, but haven't seen any evidence of them in these few weeks. Emus used to be just as common as kangaroos, but now they're just getting harder and harder to see. I love seeing emus because you don't see them that often, unfortunately. But this is beautiful bushland. Right in front of me is a massive tree. It's dead, but it's got really good hollows in it for nesting birds. And we have a bird around Perth called the Carnaby's black cockatoo that's endangered. And it's endangered because we're bulldozing bush and we're bulldozing their nesting grounds and feeding grounds. So I flagged this tree as a potential nesting site for Carnaby's cockatoos. And a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I flagged it because there were Carnaby's black cockatoos nesting in it. So they couldn't bulldoze it then. And then this time I saw pink and grey galahs, which are a type of cockatoo. They're really cool looking cockatoos. I saw them nesting in it, and I'm looking at them right now nesting in it. They're not endangered, but still they're not going to clear this tree. This tree will stay for the time being, which is great because it is such a good tree. There's probably like 5 or 6 really good hollows in it. There's a beehive in it. Like, it's just an awesome tree. So I managed to hold them off bulldozing that for the time being. And let's have a keep wandering. Well, I hope everyone's been good anyway, as I wander through the bush. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, or if it's even listenable because of this wind and the leaves crunching, but hey, it's something. I figured I'd keep you all up to date while I'm out here. Oh man, it is going to be bloody hot today. It's going to be really hot, and there's like no shade here. Oh look, I'm looking at some kangaroo prints right now, and it looks like they're heading out of this area, which is awesome. That's what I like to see. Now I've got my snake hook when I walk around, and I lift up any bits of bark or anything like that. I'm flicking over some bark now, but it's just so damn hot. Nothing's really out. Everything's really tucked into the vegetation, Even flipping stuff, because it's so dry, you're not going to find anything much under any of the trash that's out here or bits of bark, because there's no moisture underneath them. So yeah, it sucks because I know there's animals here, but I just can't get them. And I got a decent amount in the traps, but it's kind of bittersweet when you're trapping lots of animals, because you're like, all right, I've caught a lot of animals, that's great, but that means there's a lot of animals here, and obviously I can't get them all, and they're just going to be bulldozed. It sucks. It really sucks. But the only thing I can do is do my best to get as many animals as I can out of here. You might be able to hear the pink and grey galahs because they've seen me. They're making a ruckus. Get away from my nest. I hope that wind's not too distracting. I did find a pelican carcass out here as well. I'm walking, see a whole bunch of feathers, and I'm like, wait, that's a massive rib cage for a bird. Like, that's huge. And yeah, it was a bloody pelican. I don't know what the hell's taken down a pelican, or why pelicans landed in the bush here, because they obviously, there's no, I mean, I am close to a beach, but not super close. But yeah, pelicans are massive. They've got like an 8-foot wingspan or even more. So I don't know what's taken down a pelican. Cats will eat anything, but it must have been if it was a cat, it must have been a bloody huge one. What else has been going on? Yeah, I've been doing my primatology stuff as well. Gone back to study more primatology stuff, so I've been enjoying that. I'm nearly finished it. I've always been into primates, loved primates, so I figured, well, I may as well get a qualification in it, in primatology, just so I can, you know, have that bit of paper to tell people I know about primates. Because in this day and age, you can know everything in the world about animals, but if you don't have that stupid little bit of paper to tell people, then you don't know anything about animals, apparently. Some of the best naturalists I've ever met that know the most about animals don't have any formal qualification. But that's just the world we live in. Some of the dumbest people that work in the animal field, they went to university for 3 years and know absolutely nothing about animals, but they've got that bit of paper. So it does suck sometimes, you know. I was doing my biology degree, and then a few years in, I went, I don't need this, I'm already working in the animals field, so I stopped. And then only a year or two ago, I went back and finished it. And now I'm doing the primatology thing, and I've nearly finished that, so yeah. I've got that bit of paper to tell people that I know about animals. Bloody stupid. Oh man, I don't know which way to walk, because if I walk the opposite way, then I'm like not blocking the wind out. But all right, I'll go this way. I found like we've got a tree here called a grass tree, or the indigenous term for it is a balga, and they're really cool. I mean, when we were kids, we used to call they were called black boys. That was the name for them. But now, obviously, it's a politically incorrect term for them. I don't know why they were called that, but it's just weird. But anyway, they got like massive spikes that come out of them. They're real unique looking trees. But the sap that drips off them, it forms like this massive. It looks almost like big eggs underneath the tree. And I found like a whole bunch of them on the floor underneath one. And I took it with me. I mean, it's just going to get bulldozed anyway. But I want to sand and buff them so they'll come up real nice, like the real deep red colour. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to give it a go. And then I found a massive beehive. I could smell the honey. I was walking through and I was like, ooh, that smells bloody good. That smells hell nice. And I was like, there's got to be a beehive around here somewhere. And it's always... so that was the radio going off, because that's me. It's my only way to contact the bulldoze driver. But yeah, it's always handy to know where the beehives are in a bush that you're spending time in, because you don't want to walk into it or like flip a log or something and there's a beehive in it. But this one was right in the base of a dead grass tree. It was really cool. I filmed it, got pretty close to it. Bees are normally pretty good. You get close to the hive, they don't really mind. It's when you start disturbing it and pissing it off, that's when they get a bit stingy. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm out here like 11, 12-hour days, so they've been long days, especially when you're out in the heat with no shade and lots of ticks biting. But yeah, I don't mind it. I bring a backpack, got my water, got my bucket to sit on, Got my shit tickets, aka toilet paper or bog roll, in case I need to do a bush bog. But yeah, I don't do that often because I'm a very shy shitter, as they call it. Public toilets, bush not so bad, but when there's that many ticks crawling around, I don't know if anybody would be game to pull ticks out of my taint and hoop donut. But so yeah, I'm not even going to risk that. But it's always funny walking around the bush because no matter which bush you're in or jungle or you think you're super remote, you'll always find beer bottles and beer cans. I don't get why people have to travel so far into a bush to drink. Like, why? Are they hiding it from their wives or their parents? Like, yeah, I don't get it. And occasionally you'll find some toilet paper floating around that have Hershey skids all over it. But yeah, a few times I've actually walked up on the bulldozer driver. I'll see the bulldozer's stopped and I'll like walk over and I'll just emerge from the bush and there he is squatting next to the bulldozer, snapping one off. I'm like, oh, sorry mate. Then I'll go back into the bush and take some sneaky photos of him to send to my mates for a laugh. Nah, I'm joking. Well, yeah, I'm joking. That doesn't happen. Oh, this looks like a good area. There's lots of like bark around, so I'm just scooping it with the snake hook. But nothing. I mean, it's a good sign when I'm not seeing lots of animal activity. It's good. It makes me feel better about, like, you know, the place being bulldozed because, yeah, there's not much that I can see. And the traps did find quite a few animals, but not a stupid amount. So, I mean, obviously I didn't catch all the animals in the area, but I got a few out of the area. That's all I can really do, you know. That's all I can really do. So what else has been happening in the world? Earthquakes, snowing in LA, bloody Jesus. Yeah. The weather's been nuts. Although in saying that, this summer in Perth is the third summer on record where we didn't get a day over 40 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. Last year, on the other hand, was a bit different. I wasn't here. I was in LA over that summer for those 3 months. But people in Perth were having like 43 degrees, like, you know, for like a week in a row. It was 45 degrees Celsius or something on Christmas Day. So yeah, it was nuts. And they're blaming that weird weather in Western Australia. They're blaming that on a volcano that's erupting in the ocean near Polynesia. Apparently the airstream or something's like floating the ash directly over Western Australia, like it's skipped a lot of other states, because Eastern Australia, like Melbourne and Sydney and New South and Queensland and all that, they're real close to Polynesia, but it's not affecting them. It's affecting us on the other side of Australia. We can't see the ash or anything because it's in a higher sphere, like I think it's above the stratosphere. It's something like that, but it's like cooled our weather down, and it's made our sunsets real different looking. Like sometimes I go out there and there'll be like purple sunsets, like real strange. Reminds me of like sunsets in Futurama. Yeah. But anyway, I should probably get back to work. And yeah, I hope you all have a great week. I will be back next week and the regular episodes will begin again. But I just wanted to update yous and have yous come out for a little walk with me around the bush. So yeah, hopefully the sound isn't too bad because it's literally just recorded from my iPhone recording app. So I'll see you next week on another episode of Thorn's jungle. It should be Thorn's bush at the moment because I'm in a bush, but anyway, it's Thorn's jungle. That's what it is.